Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen again. Earlier I made a batch of banana muffins for the chronic pain support group that I run tomorrow on Saturday. So now I'm working on the pumpkin muffins, which I am very much known for. People who don't like pumpkin love these. And of course, they're completely vegan. So join me in my kitchen as we make pumpkin muffins. Here in my mortar, I've got some cloves, some allspice, and a bit of some very coarse pink salt, which will actually help in grinding. Some spices I never buy powdered, things like cinnamon, allspice. You get a better quality, like nutmeg. You get a nutmeg, it can last in your cabinet for a very long time. But when it's ground up, a lot of the potency is just gone. Let's see, that feels just about right. And by adding that rock salt, it really does help break everything down further. That smells so good. There's such a difference in quality doing it by hand like this. Oh, that's perfect. Well, I'll get the rest of my ingredients together and I'll be right back. A lot of these recipes will generally call for dried ginger root. I actually prefer using fresh. It gives you a much better flavor, and I'm just going to add it to my other seasoning. This is cinnamon, cloves, allspice, a little bit of salt to help grind everything up, and then of course nutmeg, and I'm going to add just a little bit of ginger. It doesn't really take a lot. When you're using fresh, you're not going to need as much. And I like using the microplane because it's going to give me a much better flavor. It's a paste, so everything's going to be in there better. I hope that makes sense. Let's see if I can get that out there. So that is all my seasoning. Allspice, cinnamon, whole nutmeg, cloves, ginger, salt. Now something else that I'm going to actually add to the seasoning mixture is my recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed, and that's the egg replacement, the binder. I actually generally will just mix it in with my spices. It's just a more guaranteed way that it's going to really be incorporated properly. Next, I'm going to work with my wet ingredients, which will include canned pumpkin. Make sure it's 100% pumpkin and not pumpkin pie mix. Oh, I love these kind of can openers because it doesn't cut. It actually pops the top off of it, which is a lot safer for me. There we go. Got my pumpkin off. Now I'm going to start with a half a cup of unflavored cashew milk. And it's the same technique I use anytime I have to measure liquids. Get that out of the way. I put my finger at the end. That doesn't feel right. Let me get this in here. So we've got a cup. We've got half a cup. Oh, that's right. My other one has a 3/4 cup. So I've got my half a cup. I can actually feel the imprint in there. So we got a half a cup of the nut milk, unsweetened, trust me. Get this out of the way so it doesn't get dropped. Here's my lid. Okay. And then from there, we got a half a cup of vegetable oil. Same thing. These aren't the most healthy of recipes. I'm using pure cane sugar, which actually the body knows how to handle. But it's still, pumpkin is an amazing superfood. So I've got my half a cup of nut milk. I've got my half a cup of oil. Now, calls for molasses. And I'll tell you, there is a great trick for working with molasses. I need 2 tablespoons of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some cooking spray. I'm going to lightly spray my tablespoon. And same process until I can feel it. Touch my finger. But because I coated it with the cooking spray, it comes right out. And I need 2 tablespoons. Yep, there it is. Try and get every last bit. I should have coated a second time, but that's okay. Okay, so we've got that. I'm going to go ahead and start mixing. Now, like I said, pumpkin is wet, so the pumpkin is going to go into the wet ingredients. And of course, for my pumpkin, I need a cup. So I'm going to grab a spoon. And just get it mashed in there. Now the rest of the pumpkin, what I'll actually do is just stick it in a container, like some ice cube trays, to freeze it, because they're great in oatmeal, they're great in smoothies, and that should be about right. So try and get it all in there with my wet ingredients. Put this aside, and I'm gonna mix. And that feels like it's good enough. Let me grab something to wipe my hands with, because I'm going to have to wipe out that tablespoon, the measuring spoon. Oh. Okay, now I can put my molasses away. I am going to use my paddle, so in my mixer bowl, I am going to need some all-purpose flour, and that's 1 3/4 cup. Oh, let's see. And I'm going to wipe out my 1 cup measuring, because I don't know where my other one is at. I have 2 sets and I can't find it. So I'm going to go ahead and just give that a wipe. In my bag. And so we've got, if I put that in there so I can feel it. There we go. So we got 1 cup. And then my other mixing one, I know this is 3/4 of a cup. Get it in there good. Let's get my flour out of here because I have dropped them. Now to this, I'm going to go ahead and add my spice mixture. Get it all in there, and I did forget something. Of course, I keep that in my freezer. We've got some flaxseed. If I can get this one open. Oh, that's right. This is a new one. Gotta open it. And 2 tablespoons. And that, of course, is going to go right in with my dry mix if I can get this damn thing open. Now, right now, I do have my oven warming up at 400 degrees. So 1 tablespoon. You know what? I'm going to stick with 1 tablespoon. Put this in the freezer. Now, this is something where when you're done mixing everything, you can add nuts like walnuts or whatever your favorite nut is. Doesn't matter. It's what you want. Okay, so I've got my flour. I've got my seasoning mix. I need some baking powder. And of course, the baking powder is going to be like a tablespoon. And that's primarily because, you know, there's no egg. The flaxseed is a great batter, but you want something to really give it some lift. And I love these baking powder that has like the lid to scrape across, because all you gotta do is get it in there, give it a scrape, and I've got my 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Now the salt and other dry ingredients, remember I put it in with my spice mix. And that's it. So, wait, nope. I gotta add my sugar. Now, you can make this with different kinds of sugar. I really don't suggest it. And my 1/4 cup fits in that jar better. And I need 1 1/4 cups of sugar, so that's 1/4 cup. And then I need 4 more. 1, 2, 3. You know, I'm going to actually cut back on the sugar. The next one I'm going to just kind of leave it about halfway only. So now, all my dry ingredients are in here. My wet ingredients are in the other bowl. My oven is warming up to 400 degrees. Now, I'm not going to spray my trays, my cupcake tins like I did before. I'm going to actually use, you know, little inserts. So I've got these all filled out and ready. I know I need a second one. I don't have another tray, so I'm going to have to do this in batches. Okay, so now I'm going to put my paddle in because these have got, the dry ingredients have got to be mixed. Lock that in and go very slow. Otherwise, yeah, it will go all over the place. And it would probably help if I actually plug this stupid thing in. Now let's give it a try again. So just put it on whatever the first setting is, number 1. And I'm just going to let this go for a few minutes. I'm going to grab a rubber spatula for getting all the wet ingredients out of the bowl. I could smell the cinnamon and the clove, and oh, it's just such a beautiful thing. Go just a little higher. Open this thing up. Toss that in the sink. And I'm going to go ahead and put all of this in here. Attempt to go around a few times. Put this in and start on the lowest setting. Again, this is something you don't want to beat the hell out of it because it's just going to make the gluten set in more and you don't want that. So nice and slow. And I will start putting stuff in the sink. I'll load my dishwasher later. Put all that stuff back. And here again, I've got my little scoop. This is, I think, a 1-ounce scoop. And I'll probably put 2 per muffin. Turn it off. Try and just get around there, get all that shit out of there. Actually, I'm going to lift this up so I can scrape. And I just got it all over my hand, but that's okay. It happens, right? That aside, lock it, and I can go up a little higher just for a quick few moments. And that's it. Try and get this off. My spatula. You know, because there's no egg in this, somebody could actually lick the batter. That's about as good as I'm going to get that. I gotta find a rag so I can wipe my hands. Move this over just a little bit, get this closer, and now I'm just gonna take scoops, kind of bringing it up. Yeah, it feels about filled enough. That might be good enough. And I'm losing my muffin papers. Crap. Okay. I'm not getting it out of there, so I'm gonna go ahead and start over. Again, I heard that plop. Now these are going to go in the oven, like I said, 400 degrees, and they're going to cook for about 18 to 20 minutes. These are, you know, people who don't like pumpkin, this usually changes their mind. And of course, I'm going to post that recipe down below. Because as you know, I hate when people don't do that. Because sometimes you don't need the technique. You don't need to... You just want the recipe. And I'm sure some people are following me because they're waiting to see me. If I cut one of my fingers off or, you know, drop food all over the place, which I constantly do. And for some reason, I can't get that out. So I'm just going to go ahead and get my finger in there. And I made a bigger mess. Crap. Okay. Get another scoop. I actually should have coated this with cooking spray, so kind of see where we're at. This one can use a little bit more. And yeah, it's messy, and I really don't have a choice. And now I'm going to lose this if I don't lock it back into place. So I'll keep checking each tin. Put just a little bit in there, even if it means scooping it with my fingers. That one feels good. This one's a bit low. Let's see, that one's fine. Yeah, this one can use a little bit extra love. I know how messy, huh? And that's the thing. There's really no clean way for me to do this. There's a lot of times I just really got to get my fingers in there. It's the only way to do it. I mean, my hands are washable, so. There we go. Let's see. Those are all about half. Oh, nope. This one needs a little bit more. I want to fill them about halfway. They are going to rise actually quite nicely. And I got to wipe my hands because it's getting messy already. Hold on. Let's do this. Oh, crap. And just like I do with the other ones, I take a piece of paper towel and I go around. Oh, I found a goop there. So I'll go around the outside because that just makes it harder to clean everything. It feels pretty clean. Awesome. But this one seems a little low. Let's get a little bit more in there, just a little bit. Now I'm going to pop this in the oven, 400 degrees, 18 to 20 minutes, and I'll be back. Hey guys, I'm back. I can actually tell by the smell that those babies are ready. So I'm going to go ahead and pull them out. I've got my cooling rack. And my pot holder. See if I can find these. Oh, that's hot. Oh. And here we go. Put those on that rack because there's still enough of the batter left to fill these. So what I'm going to do is very carefully get these things out of here without trying not to burn myself. And I already did. Here we go. Oh, shit, that's hot. But I want to get that next batch done. Ow, I am going to have burns, but it happens. Okay, here's the other one. Hot, hot, hot. Ow, 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 ow. Crap. I wonder how many I'm going to drop. Shit. Ah, that pan is hot. Fuck. I gotta get another pan because this is crazy. This is a hot pan and I'm doing this. Shit. Shit, almost lost one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill more of those cupcake papers for these muffins, and I'll be back, guys.